Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insight. Thanks, sponsors, Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication, ComC.com, Burbank Sports Cards. Thanks, Rob. Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Heritage Auctions, Douglas Scott Auctions, Topps, Panini, and Upper Deck. The long-awaited warehouse tour. I've waited more than 20 years for this. I've seen pictures. I certainly was impressed. He's not an overnight success, except in the sense that I was an overnight success of working all night. That's the overnight success aspect. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of perspiration, a lot of inspiration, and a lot of help. So thanks, Rob. Again, apologize for the audio, but we're walking through these giant shelves.
The Burbank Warehouse. I've been waiting for this forever. You like organization, correct?
I love organization.
He loves organization. So once you cross this threshold, your life will never be the same, Jim. Never look at cards the same way.
What was it? The
Indiana Jones. Everyone says Indiana Jones. What you're looking at is a 40 million plus card inventory. Color coded by sport, year, brand, number, order. Everything's data-based. Everything's imaged. Everything's on your Beckett Marketplace that you created. Right. Everything from the Beckett Marketplace migrates over to eBay in increments and decrements accordingly. One system. There's no point of having player systems. The search on the database takes care of everything. I don't have to explain that to you.
The decrement is important.
Decrement is incredibly important.
That was Mark.
That was Mark. It changed my world. Now these cards that were only available in my shop, all of a sudden could be global. Well, you've already built the nomenclature. You've already built the pricing. All I had to do is put the quantity in and a percentage of book if I wanted to be at a certain percentage.
And manually change it every time. No, because that would be the problem. Because the exceptions, like we were saying, the price guide, where we made our money was in handling the exceptions. If you had a bunch of exceptions in your business, you wouldn't make any money because you haven't do these out of stocks. Oh, I didn't realize I was out of stock because it sold yesterday online, so I don't have it here.
Yeah.
So to have one system allowed you to have a smooth running, profitable thing.
It was built around my mother. My mother worked with me for years.
Mom, find it quickly.
Before the internet, it was all phone calls. Do you have this? Have an organized system. Mom wanted to help. So she'd be able to go exactly in the store where it belonged with the color coding, the years, the numbers. Find that card, 97 Pacific Fireworks, number 6. She would know exactly where to go. It would be priced physically. She could get back on the phone and say, yes, we have that card.
In a minute.
And in a minute.
30 seconds.
30, yeah, exactly. So if Mom could find it that quick.
Climbing up these.
No one has to really climb up there.
Where do you pull when those boxes are way up there?
Nothing way up there is what we're getting to regularly. Everything is basically here and down.
So that's extra stock.
That's extra stock up there.
So most of it's 7 feet up.
Yeah, 7 feet, pretty much max. Over here, one of my guys is working on 2020 optic football.
Yeah.
All of the dividers are alphabetical. So the base goes up to a point. Then you have aqua. You've got black Pandora. Dividers for everything, and it's alphabetical. Our ability to find cards is unbelievable. Now we're doing an upgrade with this. Once that upgrade is done, we know which cards we're having for the first time. That goes to my imaging people where we have the high-speed scanners. And they get
all your nomenclature
off Beckett. Yeah. Why recreate the wheel when you guys built the wheel? Yeah. So he does nothing but ID work and adding cards to the database. I got people that can pull orders, never seen a card in their life. But if ABCs, 1, 2, 3s,
adding to the
and colors
database means indicating you have the card that's in the marketplace. The template is there.
Yes.
Are you still the King scanner?
Technically, Beckett should be providing the images, but that's not a reality. So we're doing it. Fujitsu is in here doing a commercial, actually, because we're like the ultimate test study of their scanners and how fast we can scan through them. They could do 40 cards a minute, front, back, and auto crop. Cool. That's the technology of the day. They give me scanners because they use us for marketing. For example, we're looking for a basketball card. Let's say 2017-18 status number 42. This bay is even bigger than this one. You come down the aisle, and you got to go to 2017. So you're passing all these years. Again, yellow is basketball, so you know where to be. And then once you get to 2017-18, then it's optic hoops, contenders, and you can go right down to status right here. All the base cards are in order. All your inserts and parallels are in order as well.
Okay. The base cards, you don't have as many base cards as people would expect to pull if they broke a bunch of boxes. Is that because you don't replenish those because people don't ask for them?
Certain brands we don't see as much, and we have a lot more of certain brands that are broken more heavily. Status is not broken in large quantities.
Okay.
We don't see it as much, but Panini Prism 1718 can become 4,000 or 5,000 count boxes. Base cards, inserts, parallels. This includes a lot of the parallels too, but you can see just the sheer amount of divider.
It just seems like you could fill up almost this many with just base.
We don't reload base.
Don't reload. That's my point. You don't reload.
We will sit there and key rookies. We know which stars sell through. We'll replenish those, but our resources really need to go towards the premium cards. The cards I'm not competing with everybody across the web on the base cards, but you can see just how organized it is. We have room because we've had to shift this building a couple times, which isn't pleasant, but right now we're looking good for space for another 5 years for basketball. But these are the products that get reloaded the most because they're the newest. And some of these, we can have a nice stack of inserts and parallels, and boom, that's the priority. Whatever the priority is what we work on first.
So when you go to a dollar box, you're seeing that these are generally cards that you'll be able to reload into here.
Yeah.
And that's why you'd have some interest in buying them. But if it's something that's generic, you figure that out.
So we go to the National and we take a quick cruise across all the tables and we grade the tables from A to F basically. And if I see a table, for my purposes, this is an A. This gets our attention first. And then we'll come back at the end of the show where there's still great stuff available and try to buy the table. That's how we get the pallets that we bring back. Yeah. But it has to be quality.
Pretty good players.
Right.
Better brands.
I want to see late 90s stuff I don't see every day.
I better get there before me.
Exactly. We have this competition. You always know when I've been through the boxes, though.
But my only advantage to you is I'm more patient than you because you're doing it as a business. I'm just doing it as a hobby.
Sure.
But I know what I'm looking for. I'm just wondering if you're my eventual customer.
Or vice versa. And you should partner with me, Jim. Remember we used to have these conversations that we should do something together? But I know less is more with you right now. It's just, I'm 55 now. And I've never had more fun with this stuff. But you can see the sheer quantities. People say they have 10 million cards. No, they don't know what 10 million cards looks like. We have 8 of these aisles. Again, you get to anything quickly. If it takes you 45 seconds to find a card here, you're not doing your job. So
you have to do like Amazon does. You have to print out a pack order where you know where you're moving down the line.
Right. It's organized. We get it organized chronological by year, alphabetical, chronological. Right. So they're coming down once in the basketball section. It's the technologies your company developed that really aren't known to the wider audience, which is amazing. When I built Beckett Business Solutions, I came on board and I had these grand visions for what things could be. Management wasn't ready for me. Let's just put it that way. But if that was still around today, that would be crazy. So we have an oddball box at the end of each year. Things that don't deserve their own boxes. Weird kind of one-off things. But you're seeing what they are. It's things that I can't dedicate a double shoe space to that. And then we'll have double shoes, not 5,000 count boxes of some of the ones we don't have as many of. Immaculate Spectra. But if they build where we need a 5,000, then they'll go to a 5,000 count box. And we have spaces between every year. We need to add an extra box to 1819 Prism. Otherwise, we don't want to move everything else.
Ripple effect. Yeah. I thought it'd be longer and skinnier. Was Steven talking about your first thing was 15 by 75?
Right.
That's the vision I had. It's just wider and probably taller. Actually, I'd seen pictures that it was this tall. But it just hats off to you for the organization. You can't just think, oh, I'm going to organize it. It's first get the cards in order. You get them labeled. Get them boxed. There's thousands of dollars worth of cardboard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not sports cardboard, dividers and things.
Yeah. The biggest pain point is the imaging. If you don't have an image for a card, it's worthless. You can't put it anywhere. Yeah. That's always the biggest pain point. We've really found a solution for that, which was the key.
I scan 300 cards every 10 seconds by spanning them out, taking pictures
of the group. Yeah.
The group. And so for some reason, my eBay sales aren't as good.
People actually want to see the back of the card too sometimes.
They want to see even the front. So it looks like it's a whole bunch of that one card there. Yeah. Can you count the cards for me? He said, no, it's what I said.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Look at the picture and figure it out. And people don't want to do it. Except when somebody does it one time, they think, oh, he's understated.
Yeah.
I'll just buy another lot. I get repeat business.
Nice.
Is it Fujitsu? I'll contact them. Send me a free scanner.
Exactly. I'll work on that.
Test market.
Come to my show and we'll have them set up there.
But even 40 cards a minute or whatever.
It's insane. We had 0 images back in 2013.
No, I think there was some naivete about images. Now some of the grading companies companies are getting it.
Right.
But it's an important part. It's a very visual hobby. It's why doing an audio podcast is less than optimal, but it's a lot easier to get things out. I'm not shocked because I do understand that 42 million. Actually, you've been saying you have 42 or 43 million for years now.
It's actually less. We're selling more cards than we're able to add. The problem is that number, if I'm adding a card and we already have it, it doesn't count. And now it's an extra card. It's when you add unique cards. Right. That's hard.
I'm only trying to buy cards that I know I can sell for more or that I haven't seen. But when I make a mistake on them, you might be my eventual home. And I know you have room for it.
Yeah.
I did something I thought I'd never do. I got a storage unit.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I promised I'd never do that, but I had my barn that I had a bunch of cards in, and when got
got to put them somewhere.
So now I'm more aggressively moving on eBay.
Okay.
Just get rid of groups of cards. And I have these same exact shelves.
The key is the tightness,
and
where you keep that quarter inch.
They're the same brand, same everything.
Yeah.
Very efficient, but what do you think?
3 5,000s go across perfect. So there's no wastage.
Mine are probably 6 inches narrower.
Yeah.
I can get 2 this way. I have a little bit
So
less.
you get 10,000 max. I get 15,000.
Yeah. I have a bunch of them, and it's less, but it's still mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's alphabetical by player. If somebody came over and said, hey, I want to look at them, but that doesn't happen very often. Mail order and shows is the way to go.
This is what happens when you grind every single day, and with no exceptions. And,
the other thing you have that is the bane of the show dealers is when people get things out of order.
Yeah.
You've got this box of football and this box of basketball, and they're pulling out, and they're putting it over here, and then you got to resort.
Yeah.
And
no one touches this, which is nice.
Saying, yeah.
But in our store, we have a lot of hands-on. You saw the vintage, you saw the dollar boxes. You've got to be on top of that because it just upsets other people that are coming behind. You've done this effort. They have a specific list, but now it's out of order. So
I'm always looking for the tables and the dealers that have the disorganization.
Exactly.
Because that's where the opportunity is.
Yes, exactly.
With you're too good. You're too sharp.
Yeah.
I couldn't cherry pick anything.
Yeah, it's my only marketable skill is I know what I'm doing in this specific niche of the world.
This happened last show. I went through and picked out a bunch of cards. And it was a dollar box. I got some great stuff. And a guy came and said, hey, this is good stuff. I said, that's pretty good stuff here. I've already been through that box with it. He spends a couple hours going through. And this is horrible. I made the mistake of telling him what I thought I was going to get him for, which was lower. And he said, oh, that sounds great. So he pulled out a couple hundred cards. He goes to the guy, and the guy says, and they were like 200 cards. He said, that'll be $150. He said, what?
Yeah.
And he said, I want to pay 100. He said, no, it's 150. Then my nightmare, he looked through the cards that the guy got and he said, I wouldn't sell that. Why would I want to sell these cards? He said, wait a minute, they're in the dollar box. He said, they're worth a lot more than $1. I can't sell them to you.
Wow.
Like and he had to put them back. And I thought, if that ever happens to me, I'm just going to freak out. That I spent a couple hours pulling out 200 cards at an assumed price, and then I'm held hostage to either put them back or pay the price, which was a very awkward situation.
So I would sit at a table and I would negotiate ahead of time, dollar boxes. If I buy 5,000 cards, I
try to do.
I need to be at 35 cents a card.
But they say, I'll work with you, which means after I pull out 5,000 cards, it's 90 cents?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. But then you'd come in and I would grandfather you into the deal.
That paid for this flight to come here and visit you.
And then the cool thing is they have no idea who Jim is. And it's just two people that really...
They do now.
Yeah.
I'm a friend of Rob. That's good enough.
So you spent 4 hours here. It just meant the world to me.
What a highlight. I spent 4 hours with Larry Fritch. Yeah, that's another one of the wonders of the collection.
Yeah,
before he passed away. But so his was climate controlled to Wisconsin, which meant it was freezing.
I'd like to see what he had up there and what the sun runs up.
It's the grandson now. They're getting rid of stuff. Deacquisitioning it.
Yeah.
He was a true collector.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Nothing like this. He had no shelving. It was just piled to the ceiling in a barn that was unair conditioned.
Hobby pioneer.
We
all stand on the shoulders of giants, and I'm hoping that I'm somewhere in that chain where folks will come in afterwards.
You already got Ryan standing on your shoulders.
I can't support that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's next level. I got nothing on that kid. I'm so proud of him. I have no idea what being here means to me. It means the world. Literally, I don't have this. I don't have a database. The ideas that they had back in the day, the way they shaped the industry is, I wouldn't have been in this building, never mind the other building. It's lost on a lot of people because there's a lot of people that have come in new that the Beckett magazine really isn't a thing. It isn't what it was. It was the Bible Now it's the phone book, basically. Unfortunately, it's what it's become. And
Yeah, he was a phone book.
yeah, exactly.